Hello guys and welcome to another podcast for Suffolk Business Podcast. It is the Media Bros here and we are joined by the lovely Clare today from EP Friel. How are you, Clare? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fabulous, thank you.
Amazing, cool. So Clare, basically you are the Managing Director of EP Friel. Can you tell us a bit about what you do and what the business involves?
So we are a business development and marketing agency. So as well as what I call your old school fluffy marketing, we also work alongside businesses to help their business grow through the more humanist approach. Predominantly business development is in the construction industry. On the marketing side, we work multi-sector. So managing people's social medias, businesses' social medias, running campaigns for them, just heightening their profile.
Amazing.
So you run paid and organic social media?
Normally organic, but we have the option to do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
So
really
yeah.
Cool.
And then how did you come to be where you are today? Did you always want to do this, or was there a bit of an origin story behind you that managed to get you to where you are now?
Oh, it's quite random because I left school at 18. When I was at school, I had my daughter, so it was pretty much Vicky Pollard. It's like I don't want to be her. As much as I like velour tracksuits, it just wasn't where I wanted my life to go.
Yeah.
So media had seemed to be my forte at school, and after I had NIA and finished my A-levels, I went up to London through Soho with my CV, door knocked in all the post-production houses and got a job as a runner at a post-production house. So I worked on the first series of The Apprentice, loved it, loved post-production, but wanted to get onto the studio floor. So I then got work experience on Celebrity Big Brother, which opened a door to work for Endemol, did all that good stuff. Then I realised that I was too much trying to prove a point and not around as much for my daughter. So I came back to Ipswich and got a job in recruitment, which is quite random. I did have a temp job in shipping first, which wasn't for me because I kept sending containers to the wrong place. And I was like, when you go from kind of working with celebrities in a green room to organising a container, going to Scotland and sending it to the wrong place, it's just not really the one.
You soon find that's
So
Alan Sugar would have been you were fired.
It was like, you're out. So then I went and worked for recruitment agencies. I didn't like the recruitment element, but I loved the making stuff happen, putting people together. Did that in construction, then came back, then decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. Then got a job in a construction company, loved that, did their business development, helped them grow, and thought, well, how can I do this for myself? Because I was helping people around the people that I was working for, which is then when I started the business development agency, which is going well so far.
What a story that is.
When did you start EP Friel?
EP Friel, June this year. Friel Consulting was May last year.
Tell us that story. Give us some context there.
Friel's Deals on wheels. It's just me in a car, just going around trying to save the world, one business at a time. And I had the idea, didn't quite know how I was going to make it happen. My old company supported me in starting up, so I had a bit of a window to generate the work. I just felt like I was on a secret mission, like on the A140 to Norwich, like, I'm bossing this.
Well, I can imagine you. Like, have you seen Alan Partridge the film? Like, when he sings in the car and everything.
But I actually had a Dacia Stepway, which made it even better. So I was like in this milk van with the number plate MILF going down to Norwich. Like, I've now had an upgrade, so that's great. But,
cool. Still got the number plate.
Yeah, I did ask for it, and they were like, what? When I went to get the car, my dad was like, I really didn't want the car. Not that I'm like prejudiced against cars. And they gave us a list of the number plates, and MLF came up. I was like, yeah, I'll have that. My dad was like, well, and the man started laughing. I was like, what does that mean, Claire? And I was like, don't worry about it, Dad. And he's like, oh no, Claire, that's going to give the wrong impression. No. I was like, don't worry, Jerry, no one will notice. Everyone noticed.
Yeah. So many
people, yeah. But I feel sorry. I saw it in town the other day, and I feel sorry for whoever got it.
No.
So that started. It then, it showed me there was a real need for it. So I got another lady in with me who was doing it on a part-time basis, but the business, I was really good at the networking. It was the admin. When you get home at 11 at night and the report's not writing itself on your computer and you're looking at it like, what's going on? So then I got Emma, who's now my business partner, in to do that side of the business for me. So I was subcontracting that to her. That worked really well. And then the business was going both ways. I was generating stuff for her. She was generating stuff for me. And then I think it was May this year, we were in our house working and we were like, what are we doing? Why don't we just merge two businesses? And then that's happened, and it's gone from strength to strength. We've got a wicked team. I can honestly say, like, our people are special. In the loveliest way. We've like got an office full of unicorns. It's great.
I mean, you talked before we come live here. You've grown that from 2 to 8, right?
Yeah, 2 to 8.
How are you finding that growth? Managing that growth?
Yeah, do you know what? It's fine, but I think with what I'm finding, my qualifications are like my media A level, 2 pregnancy tests and a driving test. So I'm not really qualified in this realm. So,
but I can say, like, just to butt in there,
it's
like
authenticity.
and when you say that, like, networking is your strength. Honestly, like, you came in today and was like,
it's like we've known you for months.
Yeah, it's
brilliant.
weird, isn't it? But it's that. So it's and the landscape of what marketing is, like you guys with your influencers. What was happening last year is not happening now. If someone had told me about FaceTime when I was at college, I'd been like, what?
Yeah.
What is it? And when you guys are probably too young, but when we had our pay-as-you-go Nokias, 10p a message, you couldn't go over the characters and you had to put TB at the end, like, to text back.
It's so like elusive, isn't it?
So everything's evolving so quickly, and that's what I love about our team, because there's room for people to put their artistic license on it. We can run with ideas.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we've just got a really good creative team.
And I don't know what, like, if you're finding it, but we, like, things start to kind of rotate around.
Yeah.
So like now, like, text marketing is becoming like really, really big.
Yeah.
And like, because open rates and emails have just kind of gone down, because people are so now inclined when they get an email, they just delete it. Whereas like texting, and so it all kind of just goes back around, doesn't it? Yeah.
And even with like Instagram, I remember when they introduced stories, and I was like, boring.
Yeah.
And now I don't even look at my feed. It's all about the stories and the way people engage and the way people buy. And that's what I find in business development. You've got the generation gap. So you've got your kind of your older generation who do the humanist approach, who network, and they've got their network, they've had it for years. But then you've got the people that are coming into industry who engage in a different way, like with LinkedIn and things like that. And it's trying to merge it together and make everyone see that consumers act differently now. Like, you'll go on LinkedIn at night, maybe if you're sad like me, and you'll scroll through it and you'll see something, and I'll be like, right, we need to get on that. And you need to be more reactive.
Reactive is exactly it. I mean, when LinkedIn started, it was predominantly for recruitment.
Yeah.
And now it's basically a networking platform for business owners.
And it is. And we offer courses on how to work on LinkedIn, because basically a lot of people don't realise that when you comment on it, the whole world sees, and you can tell men that like the lady on there because they're a lovely picture.
That's not the space
and
to do it,
right, you can do that on whatever other Facebook.
Platform.
Fill your boots, right? But not here, guys. And girls as well.
It's definitely LinkedIn isn't for the bikini pic.
No, it isn't.
So stop posting this.
Sorry.
Well, when I did my research before I came in, I was going to say.
You know, it's my lovely bikinis.
Honestly, it's amazing. And like you said, there's different platforms for different people, and there's different content which needs to be made in order to actually suit that platform. It's not, like we talk about it all the time, you can't just post something that you post on Instagram for your audience on Instagram and think it's naturally going to do really well on LinkedIn as well. So obviously there's that kind of mindset of knowing your audience, being self-aware about
and we've noticed a real change, because I did a personal post the other week about my journey, because I just felt it's really well. I thought it'd be quite cathartic to do it, and it was. And I got like 55,000 views, over 500 likes, and really good engagement from it. Whereas if I put, do you want us to do your socials? It's probably scroll past. So I think you have to be personable without being too controversial.
And what would you say to like business owners who are very much kind of, no disrespect to them, but we talk to a lot of guys and they are very old style traditional marketing, because that's kind of what they've always seen work when they're growing their business. Obviously now things have changed so much. Is it hard to kind of educate new business owners and trying to kind of get them onto your level?
Yeah, it is sometimes, because if it isn't broke, why would you fix it? But I think businesses are being exposed through that mentality, because once they leave the business, whatever their succession plan is, they've got to attract talent now, and they've got to retain their talent. And the first thing you do, if I know of a company, I'll go on their website, I'll check their socials out. They wouldn't do that. They'd ring Bob from the pub and say, "All right, Bob, what's the crap with this guy?" And it's just changing. It's changing that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about it a lot lately about building businesses and personal brands, especially building for an exit.
Yeah.
Like, we worry about some personal brands who their personal brand and their whole equity IP, that's them.
Yeah.
So as soon as they want to go do something else and leave, they can't sell a company.
Yeah.
They can't sell them.
Yeah. And that's the hardest thing that I've found with setting up EP Friel is our brand voice. Having a bit of an identity crisis because we are different as people. I'm sorry, everyone would say that we're all different, but we are different. We've got to come across professional, but we want to inject our personality into it as well. Yeah. So it's like even the logo. I'm having logo issues because I'm like, does it make us too kind of corporate? Yeah. Does it take away? So the lady that started with us, Elle, she does photography, videography, and she's done our photographs, which have managed to capture that. So now we're building it round.
And the thing is, like, what you're doing really well is you're actually putting your voice to it. You're not sitting back and thinking, okay, if I put my voice into this, or if I bring out a bit of the team's personality, then we might not please that person, we might not please that, and you're doing it. And I think what businesses need to realise now is that by actually sharing your message and being who you are, yes, it might not resonate with 20% of people who look at it because they're not really resonating with that whole message, but you will find the people that are like, yes, I'm now really invested in this and I really believe in this.
Well, it's like that saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. I think that's so true. And maybe if people don't understand it, or they, even after you've explained it, they're not for your journey. You just move on to someone that appreciates the value that you can bring, because you can't change people, can you? You can't change your mindset.
No. I also think that if, like you just said earlier about going on LinkedIn and telling your story, and that did really well and grows really well on LinkedIn. I think that people become to trust your brand a lot more once they can trust the person behind it.
100%.
Which is huge. And that's how you build a company.
Mm-hmm.
So how does the whole onboarding process go for you in terms of, like, a client turned up and they were like, yeah, can you help us? Can you help us with our marketing or anything like that? How would you go about attaining their services?
Well, this is something I learned last year, because a lot of the people I knew anyway, and I knew what their businesses were about because I've been on the other side of it in my previous role. Now it's just getting the engagement, finding out what their company culture is, what do they want from it. Because I don't think I've had clients where we don't really get that commitment, and then it's like a scattergun approach, and then it doesn't work, because business development is hard to measure. Like in construction, if the target is to get a tender in, that's quite easy to measure, but the journey to get to that point
is
and then it's that experience versus time, because it could take me 2 minutes to do something, or one phone call, but I can only make that one phone call and get to the right person because of the 10 years work that I've put in previously. And that's what it's
the organic growth that actually can't, not necessarily is measured by income, is it? But sometimes we always say that content is our assets, and if you can build content, if you can put it out there and share your message, then that might not get the ROI now, but in 5 years' time, when a big client is scrolling through all of your information and your page, and they see that one bit of content could actually be it could be
life changing, can't it? It could be, and who's watching you, you never know. Like, there's a lady on Instagram from Felixstowe, and I think she's got about 70,000 followers, and she just does like home stuff in her home. And she was in the Daily Mail the other day because someone from the Daily Mail had been watching, and you don't know who's watching.
It's like Mrs. Hinch.
Oh yeah, that's
Mrs. Hinch,
mental,
right? Everyone follows Mrs. Hinch.
Yeah.
So cool.
Are you getting some tips?
I need to keep my house clean. It's true.
But it's like, who would have thought? And anyone can do it. It's making it accessible to anyone.
And you're not going to do it if you don't post anything. Like, if you're scared, like I said, to share your message and be who you are and present your business in a way that you're really proud, and you don't share any of that, then nothing's going to happen. And that's just it's binary, isn't it? Don't post, no opportunities.
I always say to clients that it's like willy waggling. Like, it's online willy waggling. Like, you're there. But then on the flip side of it, the negative from these platforms is that you can portray an image of what you're not. And I think before...
And you fall into the trap without even realising sometimes, don't you?
And it's like when you see someone on there and you see their happy home and they're like, oh yeah, I had a great day, I love this. And you think, well, he's cheating on you, you haven't got any money, and all that stuff's on tick. So it's just like, it's that, isn't it? It's making sure that it's authentic.
And I think that gets I think it's exposed through time. Like if you follow someone for a year and then you realise actually half of their content is just rubbish.
Yeah.
You can tell, can't you? You can really tell.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
You can tell when someone's faking it, for sure.
Yeah.
But putting your message out there will grow your business and you as a person too.
Yeah.
So people and businesses need to get on board and start posting some content.
Yeah. Challenges.
Yeah.
Had there been any? Like obviously when
getting sleep.
Is that the biggest one?
Yeah, getting sleep. That is like my challenge is my brain really. Like I went on this holistic retreat at the beginning of September, and it really helped me sort my head out.
Yeah.
Not that anything negative was going on. It was just like I needed to take a breath.
Need some clarity.
You need some clarity because it's just like running from one thing into another, and that's just been it. Getting sleep, and it's not because I don't get to go to bed on time. It's literally head hits the pillow. Oh, I could do this. Oh, what if I'd have done that different in year 7? Would I be where I am today? It's that.
What ifs?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that then?
Well, now,
since you've been on the retreat, obviously you didn't do.
Well, I've cut out caffeine and sugar.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even know who I am anymore. So I don't.
You're not drinking coffee.
No, I don't drink coffee.
You seem really energetic.
Yeah.
I think I've got issues. So yeah, since that, I sound like a recovering alcoholic, but it's been so no alcohol, no sugar, no caffeine.
Right.
Gym every morning.
Since yesterday.
At like 6. Yeah, I only did it once. It was today. And it's just given me that kind of clarity. And yeah, but the energy, it's mental because I was at a meeting the other day and I just can't sit still. And I was like pacing. I was like, I'm really sorry.
But you feed off it, and like that's what I mean. Like we've chatted to you now. We've met you for the first time today, and already I'm like,
we're a bit tired before you come in.
And now you're going to have a nap when I leave.
I want to invite Claire out for Christmas.
But it is that. It's being comfortable. Like, don't mean to put Debbie down on it, but since I had my daughter, I didn't realise what a chip on my shoulder I had about it all, and not in a horrible way, but always kind of putting work first to prove a point. And it was accepting that actually I have done all right for myself. But then at the same time, why am I not happy yet? What's next? It's that. But then I've realised it's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah, and as an entrepreneur, like you will never really truly be happy with what you got. You just want to build, and that process is always there. And actually, we become so attached to the process, and not necessarily like we always say you got to really celebrate those small victories, because if you don't, you're always waiting for that last thing, then it's going to become a task all the time.
And I think my daughter now, she's 16, and I've realised like if she was a little brat, I would openly say she's a little brat, but she's fab, and she's at Suffolk 1 doing her A-levels. Perfect. So already she's on the right path. And she works 2 jobs because she's got to pay me rent. No, she doesn't have to pay me rent. She owns shares in Pretty Little Things.
She's got your
work ethic. So already I can see that actually for the mum guilt that I had missing parents' evenings and stuff like that, actually it hasn't harmed her. It's moulded her into a wicked individual.
It's never having attachments to them.
There is such a stigma attached, isn't there? So like, becoming pregnant really, really early. When we went to school, there is that stigma attached, but like the amount of people that not necessarily, I'm going too deep now, but might not necessarily want to have children, end up having children, and then neglect their children. Yeah. But what you've done is that you've built a life for your child, and I think that's really important.
And it's like we're getting my head around it now. Like I look at my friends that are now having kids, and it must be really hard because I've never known working life without having children. But to go from kind of being footloose and fancy free to then having a baby must be a harder transition. Like I'm not promoting teen pregnancies. Yeah. But you can always make a positive out of a negative, and not that it was negative, but it wasn't. It wasn't on my wasn't on my wish list at that time. But
brilliant, and that kind of transcends into business as well, isn't it? Yeah. Like all those negative things that happens that that hurdles you have to overcome. Like there is a way out, and there is a positive that can happen.
And I've learnt more from negative situations and positives, like the bad bosses that I've had. I've learnt more from them than the good ones.
Yeah. So with EP Friel, talk to us a little about the next few years. What have you got coming up? What's exciting?
World domination.
Yeah, I love that.
Always. I want my Marbs office so I can be like the woman from Benidorm with like perma tan, blonde hair, just like... right, telling people stories in bars.
Yeah,
with
nice.
fizzy water.
You can do that now.
We'll be right next to you.
Shall we just?
We want our Marbs office, don't we, Jake?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's weird because Marbs is like my happy place, and I go there quite a lot. But not for the footballer's wife type sitch. No. It's just quite a nice place to be. Yeah, positive place. So. The plan is there is no plan. Emma would kill me for saying that, but because it's so fluid and what we're doing, we're looking at opening a London office next year. But in my head, I think now with the internet and everything, is geography really an issue?
Yeah.
And just cheesy, want to be the best at what we do. Like I want when people say, "Oh, we need that," I'll ring Friel and sort it out. And then on the side doing this talent agency, I can see that growing as well. So it's kind of whatever comes off what we're doing.
Amazing. Just
Friel's deals coming down the A140.
Yeah.
Music
with
blaring.
a banner in the Dacia.
Yeah.
Dacia, number plate MILF. She'll be there.
Maybe a little purple light on top, like the fourth emergency service. You need your marketing sorted, Friel's on her way.
Like one of those things, like the pizza vans in America with when the pizza kind of wobbles on top on the van.
Don't put ideas in my head. You'll be going to a town and be like, oh my god, it's her.
What's the pizza? Oh, amazing.
That
was so specifically vague, that answer. I'm so sorry.
But I actually don't think there's we always talk about this too, about it's old school, in my opinion, to have a business plan, because now business, media, everything is so ever changing, and it changes so much. So, and we don't really have a business plan, do we, Jake? We have products we want to bring out, and we have an idea of what we want to do, who we want to work with, and then we just work as hard as we can to kind of make that happen.
A couple of beers while we do it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But that's the whole.
And that's it. It's like with me, the other week I was in meeting a builder in the morning, and I was in Soho House in the afternoon. I'm like,
this is weird.
Different worlds. And then since I started up my own, I went for lunch at the House of Parliament not last year, the year before. I sat in the canteen. I was like, how did I get here? Friel's deals.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Sort that bojo. And
really cool realisation. And I mean, we had one the same. We filmed Fern Cotton in the morning, and then we filming a bowls club in a village in Suffolk.
It was actually a barn dance.
A barn dance. Sorry.
It was a barn. So
cool.
In the same 2 days, we were filming like some of the Made in Chelsea cast, and then we filmed Fern Cotton the next morning. And then I drove back for an evening shoot at, where was it? Newton Green Village Hall.
Big up to Newton Green peeps.
A barn dance.
Massive.
If anybody listening to this fancies going to a barn dance, then Newton Green Village Hall do a great one.
It's where it's happening. DJs was on the decks.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Final question to you, and a question we ask all of our guests.
Yeah.
What is the best thing about being a business owner? The best thing?
To be able to unicorn and to have no one to kind of tread on my dreams and just make stuff happen. Yeah. So if I do something, I'm accountable. And and anything that I do is for myself and the team, and you're not lining someone else's pockets.
No one else is kind of controlling your destiny.
And if someone wants to complain, you put them through to me, and it's fine.
We'll sort it.
Hi, can I speak to the boss? Yeah. Oh, I don't. And.
Yeah.
Not that I've had one of them, by the way.
You can hear how much you love your team.
Yeah. Oh, I heart them. They're amazing.
I love the saying unicorn as well. I never heard that before.
That's why I get called. Like Emma dreads me going out. She's like, oh my god, what are you going to?
She's going to tell a client we're a unicorn again.
She's going to tell. Yeah, it's that. But it is that, and I think going back to my story of how I got like my Vicky Pollard stitch. Well, I've always hidden stuff about me and kind of tried to curb my personality to fit into like a corporate business, and I've now learnt doing what I do that it's okay to be you.
And it's so much better.
Oh, it's so much fun not pretending to be a boring person.
Amazing.
Honestly, that's
a great message.
Fascinating, and I don't think this is one of the first podcasts where I think I've just smiled and laughed the whole way through.
Hey.
So, thank you very much, Claire. Where can people find more information about EP Friel?
They can either find me on the A140 with my purple light, or
make sure you beep
online. If you Google EP Friel, you'll find us on there. Even though our website's been built at the moment because of my identity crisis. So or Yellow Pages or LinkedIn.
Amazing. Claire, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a lovely rest of your day.
Cheers.
Thanks, Claire.